Why do some people stay calm when everything falls apart, and you don't? It has nothing to do with personality, nothing to do with discipline. Your nervous system is running the wrong program, and it's been doing it for years. In the next few minutes, you're going to understand exactly why and what to do about it. The nervous system has two main operating modes, and most people only ever hear about one of them. The sympathetic nervous system is the one you know: fight, flight, freeze. Cortisol floods your bloodstream. Your heart rate climbs. Your digestive system pauses because digestion is not a survival priority when there's a threat. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for clear thinking, rational decision-making, and perspective, goes partially offline, because nuanced thinking is also not a priority when something is trying to eat you. Your body becomes a machine built for one thing: immediate survival. This is brilliant engineering. In the right context, it saves lives. The problem is that your nervous system cannot reliably distinguish between a tiger and an email from your boss with the subject line, "Quick Chat." The threat detection system, the amygdala, processes emotional signals before the rational brain even registers them. Your body is responding before you know you're reacting. And when that system has been activated chronically, day after day, year after year, through difficult relationships, financial instability, high-pressure work environments, early experiences of unpredictability, it gradually recalibrates toward vigilance. It starts treating ordinary life as inherently dangerous. A slightly sharp tone from a partner becomes a signal of rejection. A minor mistake at work becomes evidence of fundamental failure. Traffic becomes a personal attack. Your nervous system has been trained through repetition to live in threat detection mode. The second mode is the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest as it's sometimes called, though that phrase undersells it. This is the state of safety, recovery, and regulation. It's where your cortisol lowers, your digestion restarts, your heart rate steadies, and most importantly, your prefrontal cortex comes back online. You can think clearly, you can hold multiple perspectives, you can respond instead of react. People who appear effortlessly calm are not operating in the absence of stress. They have better access to this second mode, and they can return to it faster after disruption. That speed of return is called resilience, and it is trainable. There's a concept in trauma research and nervous system work called the window of tolerance. Picture a band, a range within which you can feel your feelings, think your thoughts, and function as yourself. Inside that window, difficulty is manageable. You can be uncomfortable and still be present. You can disagree without dissolving. Chronic stress doesn't just make life harder, it progressively narrows that window. The bandwidth shrinks. What used to be mildly irritating becomes destabilizing. What used to be a manageable conflict becomes a full system alarm. And here's the part most people never get told. You aren't reacting because you're weak or dramatic or lacking discipline. You're reacting because your window has narrowed to the point where almost anything is too much. Your nervous system is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do, in the wrong context. I want to show you 3 specific patterns that tend to emerge when someone is operating with a chronically narrowed window, because one of them, probably more than one, is going to feel like a mirror. The first is reactivity without recovery. This is the person who snaps at a partner, at a coworker, at themselves, and then feels the wave of shame immediately after. They apologize, they resolve to do better, and then they snap again because the apology never addressed the underlying regulation deficit. The cycle repeats, the shame compounds, and eventually the shame itself becomes a chronic stressor that feeds back into the same loop. The second pattern is avoidance disguised as productivity. This one is subtle because from the outside it looks like drive, it looks like ambition, but if you slow down enough to feel into it, there's a specific quality to it: staying busy because stillness feels worse than motion, because slowing down allows the anxiety to surface, because the moment there's a gap in the schedule, something rises up that the schedule was keeping at bay. The relentless productivity isn't building anything, it's managing something. The third is what I'd call borrowed calm, the person who can relax but only under very specific, controlled conditions. In their apartment with the right music, on Saturday morning before anything has gone wrong, on vacation in the right place with the right people. But the moment those conditions shift, an unexpected interruption, a change in plans, a social dynamic that feels slightly off, the regulation collapses. This is why some people can sit quietly with their thoughts and feel genuine peace, while for others, silence is a threat. The quiet lets the nervous system speak, and a chronically activated nervous system has a lot to say that isn't comfortable. Do any of those feel familiar? Drop it in the comments. The reactor, the avoider, or the person who can only borrow their calm from very specific conditions. I'm genuinely curious which one lands. And I'll be coming back to something in a moment that explains exactly why trying to calm yourself down in the middle of a stress response almost never works, and what actually does. First, though, I want to spend time on something that I think is the most important reframe in this entire conversation. Because everything we've talked about so far, the narrowed window, the patterns, the reactivity, has probably been filed by some part of your brain under the category of things that are just how I am. That anxious, reactive, always slightly bracing quality. You've lived inside it long enough that it doesn't feel like a state. It feels like a trait. I'm just an anxious person. I've always been wired this way. I'm not built for calm the way some people are. And I want to gently, directly challenge that, not as a pep talk, but as a fact about neuroscience. Identity that was shaped by a chronically activated stress response is not your true nature. It is adaptation. It is what a nervous system learned to do when it consistently receives signals that the environment was unpredictable, unsafe, or demanding constant vigilance. That nervous system wasn't failing, it was succeeding. It was doing its job. It learned the rules of the world it was in and built a program around those rules. But those rules were written for a different context. And the most important thing the neuroscience of neuroplasticity tells us is this: a nervous system that learned one program can learn another. The brain is not a fixed architecture, it is a living organ that reorganizes itself based on repeated experience. Whatever you practice, your nervous system gets better at. Whatever state you return to consistently, your nervous system normalizes. This means the calm you've been watching in other people is not evidence that they were built differently from you. It is evidence that their nervous system received different training, and your nervous system can receive that training too. This is not inspirational language. This is the mechanism, repeated activation of the parasympathetic nervous system through breath, through movement, through safe connection, through regulation practices, gradually increases what researchers call vagal tone, the strength and responsiveness of the vagus nerve, which is the primary pathway of the parasympathetic system. Higher vagal tone means faster recovery from stress. It means a wider window of tolerance. It means the gap between stimulus and response grows long enough for you to choose your reaction instead of being captured by it. That gap is what agency actually is. Now, here's the part I said I'd come back to. Why doesn't trying to calm down in the middle of a stress response usually work? Because the stressed brain is the one trying to do the calming. And the prefrontal cortex, your rational, deliberate, decision-making brain, is partially offline when the threat response is active. Telling yourself to relax while your amygdala is in full alarm mode is like trying to reason with a smoke detector. The signal pathway doesn't run that direction. What works is bypassing the cognitive system entirely and speaking directly to the nervous system through the body, which is exactly what the practices in this next section are built around. If this is already reshaping something in how you think about your nervous system, subscribe, because everything on this channel is built around exactly this kind of shift. Here's what I want to give you: a 7-day nervous system reset. Not a meditation program, not a wellness routine, 7 small evidence-based inputs that speak directly to the parasympathetic system and begin through repetition to widen your window of tolerance. Each one targets a specific regulatory mechanism. Each one takes 2 to 5 minutes. And the point is not dramatic transformation in a week. The point is to begin teaching your nervous system a new baseline. Day 1. The physiological sigh. This is probably the fastest acting nervous system regulation tool known to researchers. A double inhale through the nose, 2 sharp sniffs in succession, fully inflating the lungs, followed by a long, slow exhale through the mouth. This exhale activates the vagus nerve and immediately downregulates the sympathetic response. Every time you feel tension rise today, Before a difficult conversation, after an unexpected message mid-traffic. One physiological sigh, just one. Day 2, cold water on the face. After waking, splash cold water on your face for 30 to 60 seconds. This activates the dive reflex, a hardwired parasympathetic response that slows the heart rate and signals safety to the nervous system. It is not comfortable. It is also remarkably effective, and it takes less than a minute. Day 3, affect labeling. 3 times during the day when you notice an emotional state, name it, out loud or in writing. I feel anxious. I feel irritated. I feel uncertain. Research from UCLA has shown that simply naming an emotional state reduces amygdala activation. Putting the experience into language activates the prefrontal cortex and begins the shift back toward regulation. You are not suppressing the feeling. You are giving it a shape that your brain can process. Day 4, one deliberate slow meal. No screen, no phone, no podcast, just the meal and your body eating it. Your digestive system activating is a direct signal to the parasympathetic nervous system that you are safe. Eating while distracted, eating while working, eating while scrolling, these all maintain low-grade sympathetic activation. Eating slowly and deliberately with attention sends the opposite signal. Day 5, 5 minutes of unstructured stillness, not meditation, not breathwork, not visualization, just sitting, without a task, without an intention. If thoughts come, let them. If discomfort comes, stay with it for 5 minutes. This is not the destination, it is a tolerance-building exercise. You are teaching your nervous system that stillness is not dangerous. Day 6, one honest conversation you've been avoiding. Unspoken tension is a chronic stressor that your body carries around like weight. The anticipation of an unresolved conflict activates a low-grade threat response that runs continuously in the background, spending regulatory resources around the clock. Having the conversation, even imperfectly, even uncomfortably, ends the anticipatory loop. Your nervous system does not know how to relax around things it knows need to be said. Day 7, look back at the 6 days before it. Not to evaluate your performance, not to judge how well you did, just to notice what shifted, what felt different in your body, what moments felt like less. Because that noticing, that awareness of your own baseline changing, is itself a regulatory act. You are building the observer, and the observer is the first form of the agency this whole conversation has been pointing toward. You are not waiting to feel calm before you act. You are acting, and the calm is being built in the process. The person you watched walk through the hard thing without unraveling, they did not start there. They arrived there through accumulated inputs that trained their nervous system to know safety. That process is available to you, not because you need to be fixed, but because you were never broken, just running a program that was written for a different context. And programs with the right inputs and enough repetition can be rewritten. If the identity reframe in this conversation hit you somewhere real, if something shifted in how you understand yourself in relation to stress, drop something in the comments. I read them. And if you're starting the 7-day challenge, tell me, because I want to know.